Hey friends, you're watching BrainStorm Acres. I'm Henry.
And I'm Irene.
We have something different that we're doing today. We're going to be working on preserving some of our excess bounty from the greenhouse that Irene's been handling. So why are we freeze drying?
Well, our goal this spring was to make the best use that we possibly could of the greenhouse. We planted radishes and broccoli and kohlrabi and cabbage and pak choi and choy sum and peas, shelling peas, and all kinds of stuff like that. Mostly cabbage plants or other things like shelling peas, which are very cold resistant. The goal this year was to try to run the greenhouse without any heat or additional light, knowing that it would slow things down, but we wanted to see if we could do it. We did not have a super cold winter this year. I think the lowest was about 5 degrees. So there's times when it gets to -5 and it stays that way for days. That would be another issue entirely. Cabbage is tolerant of cold down to about 20 degrees before you see any damage. And I did see a little damage on the kohlrabi leaves and on some of the broccoli leaves, and they would get rolls. They would sort of roll and get wobbly. But it doesn't affect the quality of the eventual part that you're going to eat, which in the case of the broccoli is actually the broccoli itself, where you've got the flour and stuff. And the kohlrabi, it doesn't affect the eventual production of the bulb. So we just decided to ignore all those little factors and just do it. So it was a success. We have been eating radishes and kohlrabis and all this stuff for months now, lettuce, everything. But we have reached the point where we can't eat it as fast as it's coming off. So we decided that we would preserve it. Well, how are we going to preserve it? We don't have a good root cellar environment, so in order to preserve our carrots, for instance, because I harvested a whole bucket of carrots, we have 10-gallon buckets in there, and I harvested a 10-gallon bucket of carrots, and we did eat a couple and they're super delicious, but we don't want them to spoil and we don't want to have them in the refrigerator. We already had a good collection of organic carrots that we bought at a big box store that are fine still, and we decided we would freeze dry them. Now, why would we freeze dry them? Well, to be honest, I don't like canned carrots. I'm not even a huge fan of frozen carrots. I like my carrots fresh. But we experimented last year with freeze-dried carrots and discovered we like them. And they're really nice for camping, and when we're on the road for my business, we would simply pop one of the containers open and eat it like potato chips, kind of, you know. And it was also a great way to have a fresh vegetable sort of thing in a camping environment without having it to be in a soup or a stew. Some of the events we do are quite hot, so the concept of a soup or a stew when we go to a February event, for instance, is great. You love having something super warm, and if it's 100 degrees or even sort of vaguely close to that, that's Fahrenheit, you don't want to be eating a lot of heavier foods. So having a nutritious, delicious snack that just happens to be a carrot is our solution to that, one of our many solutions. So today, because I harvested a whole bucket of carrots, we need to process those.
I'm going to get this cabbage prepared for freeze drying. You snap off the outside leaves. This is fresh cabbage that Irene picked in the greenhouse today. These outside leaves will go into the compost pile. Unfortunately, compost doesn't work too well where we are because you have to put a lot of water to it. We have very drying winds, and that does slow things down quite a lot. Using a mandolin grater to shred the cabbage. This is the same size shreds that I use for making coleslaw. And the only thing you have to be careful of with these smaller cabbage heads is the stem will come down pretty far. And I don't want to have pieces of stem in my cabbage. I'll repeat this 3 or 4 more times with the cabbages. You'll notice that I'm putting on some food handler's gloves. These are pretty cheap if you buy them at a big box store. I think we got 500 counts of 250 pears. I don't know. How much do we pay for them, Irene?
Geez, I think it's about $10 for the whole pack.
That was 4 packages.
Yeah.
So you can have these inexpensive food handler gloves for about a penny a piece. Now the reason why I'm switching to wearing gloves when I'm handling the shredded cabbage is because you need to think about. Now the reason why I'm using gloves when I'm handling the shredded cabbage is you need to think about not only how you are handling the cabbage while you're shredding it for freeze drying, but also how you're going to rehydrate it. One of the problems with rehydrating some foods is that it could take a long time to rehydrate adequately. Now I don't think this cabbage is going to take very long because it's shredded fairly fine. But there's no reason for me to potentially bring bacteria into the equation because when you freeze dry, the bacteria just goes into hibernation.
Right, and we weren't planning to blanch that, were we?
No, we're not.
Okay. So if you want to use cabbage for coleslaw and stuff like that, you don't blanch it. If you want to use it cooked, you can blanch it. Now, I assume it won't last as long not blanched, but we generally do a complete turnover on our vegetables every 3 or 4 months because we just eat them all. We don't never get that far ahead usually. Unfortunately, I'd like to, but
One cabbage down, 3 more to go. Mandolin makes really quick work of shredding cabbage.
and shredding fingers too if you're not careful.
Fortunately, I haven't done that many times. Well, let's get a tray and put this cabbage on a tray so I can freeze dry it. Well, I finished shredding all the cabbage up. I pulled out any pieces of stem that I saw in the shredded cabbage. I'm now ready to start putting it onto a tray for going to the freeze dryer. And what I do is I put the tray, and I'm using a Harvest Right tray with a silicone mat. I tear out my scale I just make sure that I don't put too much weight in a tray. And with shredded cabbage, I don't think that's a real problem because it's pretty fluffy. Now, one of the things that I'll tell you from past experience, when you're doing this kind of a job, you have to be careful to make sure that you don't just freeze dry everything. By that I mean, sometimes when you're doing a big batch of something, beef stew, chili, whatever it is, you can accidentally stick everything in the freezer and not have anything left to eat for dinner. We're having baby back ribs tonight, so I'm going to make a fresh batch of coleslaw for that. So I'm going to put some shredded cabbage in this bowl. That should do us for today and probably tomorrow. And one of the nice things about putting this sort of food into the deep freeze is that it doesn't brown. So you don't get discoloration. But you need to make sure you put it into a deep freeze. And that's a little over a pound. I could go to a higher weight, but the tray is full. A couple more trays, be doing the same thing with them, and that's it for freeze drying our cabbage. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications because we're going to be doing a lot more stuff. Thanks for watching.